It is late July, and underneath the green grass in your backyard, something is hatching. All those beetles you saw buzzing around the porch light back in June. The June bugs, the Japanese beetles with their shiny copper backs. They were not just passing through. The females were burrowing into your lawn and laying eggs, dozens of them apiece, a couple of inches down in the soil. And right about now, those eggs are opening up into small white grubs with exactly one job: eating the roots out from under your grass. But here is what makes this week different from every other week of the year. For the next few days, those grubs are small, they are soft, and they are feeding in the top inch of soil, where you can actually reach them. In 2 or 3 weeks, they will be twice the size, twice as deep, and 10 times harder to kill. So when I say you have about 48 hours to get moving, I am not trying to scare you. I am reading you the calendar. Stay with me to the end, because whether your treatment works or completely wastes your money comes down to one specific thing you do with your garden hose in the 20 minutes after the product goes down, and the bag barely mentions it. I'm Larry Mitchell. For 25 years, I ran the lawn and garden counter at our town's hardware store. And every single August, folks would come through that door carrying a chunk of dead sod like a casserole dish. I sold every grub product ever put in a bag, and I watched which ones got returned and which ones folks came back for the next year. These days, I just keep my own lawn here in Ohio, and my wife Diane will tell you it gets more attention than she does. Now, before you spend a dime, let's make sure grubs are actually your problem. Because at that counter, I watched plenty of folks spend $40 killing an insect they did not have. Grub damage has 3 calling cards. First, brown patches that show up in late summer and keep spreading, even though you are watering like you should. Second, turf that feels spongy under your feet, like walking on carpet padding. And third, the big one, the animals. If skunks and raccoons are tearing divots out of your yard at night, or a crowd of starlings works the same spot every morning, they are not playing. They are eating. Now there is a 5-minute test that settles the question for good, and I will show you exactly how to cut it, and what number of grubs means treat, and what number means relax. But the bigger mistake does not happen in the yard. It happens at the store shelf. More than half the grub products on that shelf will do nothing at all for the grubs chewing your roots right now, because there are 2 completely different kinds of product, and the bags look nearly identical. I will show you which is which. And keep that garden hose in the back of your mind, because even the right bag fails without it, and we are getting to why. Now this whole grub battle connects to the fight I finally wrote a book about, because every patch of turf a grub kills this August turns into a crabgrass and clover nursery next spring. Bare dirt is an open invitation, and the weeds always take it. The book is called Larry's 30-Day Weed Kill Protocol, and it is the exact day-by-day system I follow to wipe out clover, crabgrass, dandelions, and the rest in 30 days, and keep them from coming back. 88 pages, no fluff. Written the same way I talk to you here, one step at a time. It walks you through knowing your enemy and spotting the big 7 lawn killers early. The full kill protocol with tools, products, safety and budget. Organic and pet-safe alternatives that work without harsh chemicals. Rebuilding the lawn after the kill. And my month-by-month prevention calendar. It is $17 right now, marked down from $47. Which is less than 1 bag of the wrong product. Now go ahead and grab your phone and open up your camera, the same one you use to take pictures. Point it at that square code on your screen and hold it steady for a second. A little link will pop up, give it a tap, and it will take you straight to the book. And if you are watching on your phone right now, the link is waiting for you right down below in the description. Take your time, there is no rush at all. I'll wait right here. All right, let's go cut into your lawn. You need one tool for this, a flat garden spade or a sturdy garden knife from the garage. Head to a brown patch in the yard, but do not cut in the dead center of it. The middle of a dead patch is old news. The grubs have already eaten it and moved on. You want the edge, right where the brown meets the green, because that is the dinner table where they are feeding today. Cut 3 sides of a square, about 1 foot by 1 foot. That is 1 foot on each side, roughly the size of a dinner plate with some elbow room. Cut down about 3 inches. Now peel that flap of sod back like you are folding back a corner of carpet. If grubs are your problem, that flap will lift with almost no effort, because there are barely any roots left holding it down. Healthy sod fights you. Grub-eaten sod comes up like a welcome mat. Now look at the soil in the underside of that flap. You are looking for white, C-shaped grubs with tan heads, each one about the size of your thumbnail right now, curled up in the dark soil like tiny croissants. Count every one you see in that square foot. Here is what the count means: 5 or fewer, and a healthy watered lawn will shrug that off without any help from you. 10 or more and you treat, no debate. That is 5 or fewer, leave it alone. 10 or more, get to the store. In between those numbers, treat if your lawn is already stressed from heat, or if the skunks have found it, because a skunk does more digging damage in one night than the grubs do in a week. Fold the flap back down when you are done, press it in with your foot, and give it a drink. It will heal right up. And do this cut in 2 or 3 different spots around the yard, because grubs feed in patches, not evenly. One clean spot does not mean the whole lawn is clean. I mean, think about that for a second. 5 minutes with a shovel just saved you from guessing, and guessing is where most of the wasted money in lawn care lives. Now, to beat this thing, you need to know its schedule, because the grub's calendar is the whole reason this week matters. Back in June and early July, the adult beetles were flying, feeding on your roses and your linden trees, and mating. The females tunneled into the sunniest, best watered parts of the lawn, which is a little insulting, and laid their eggs a couple of inches down. Those eggs spend about 2 weeks in the warm soil, and then they hatch. That is right now. The newborn grubs swim up toward the surface and start feeding on the tender grass roots in the top inch of soil. Through August and September they eat and grow, and eat and grow. Then, when the soil cools in October, they burrow down 6 inches, 8 inches, sometimes deeper, below where any product can reach them, and they wait out the winter like tiny hibernating bears. Come spring they ride back up, feed a little more, turn into beetles, and the porch light show starts all over again. So here is your window. Today that grub is a 1/4 inch of soft tissue sitting an inch below your feet. By late September it is a full-grown, tough-skinned grub the size of your thumb, heading for the basement. Every single week you wait, the target gets bigger, deeper, and harder. This decision seems small today. It is not. And hold on to that thought about the garden hose, because the fact that these grubs live an inch underground is the entire reason it matters. We are getting close. Now let's go to the store shelf, because this is where good intentions go to die. When I ran that counter, the most returned lawn product every single fall was a grub product, and in almost every case, there was nothing wrong with the product. The customer had bought the wrong kind, because the 2 kinds sit side by side on the shelf, in bags the same size, with the same angry cartoon grub on the front. Trust me on this one, you have to read past the picture. The first kind is a grub preventer. The bag will say something like season-long grub prevention, and the fine print on the back will list an active ingredient called chlorantraniliprole, or imidacloprid. Do not worry about pronouncing them. Just know what they do. A preventer is insurance. You put it down in June or early July, it settles into the soil, and it kills the next generation of grubs as the eggs hatch, before they ever get established. It is a fine product in the right month, but it works slowly, and against the half-grown grubs already chewing your roots in August, it is close to useless. And I will tell you a piece of plain commerce the bag never will. The preventer is the bag the industry loves, because it goes down on a calendar every year, need it or not. That is not a scheme. That is just how the business works. But it is worth knowing when you are the one holding the wallet. The second kind is the one you want today. It is a curative, a killer, and the bag will say something like 24-hour grub killer. The workhorse ingredient here is carbarrel, which folks my age know by the brand name 7. It comes as granules and as a liquid you hook to the hose, and either form works if you use it right. This one does not wait for eggs. It goes after the grubs that are alive and feeding right now, which is exactly your situation. Now, if you have dogs that live on that lawn, or grandkids who eat their popsicles on it, there is a gentler road, and it genuinely works. They are called beneficial nematodes, and they are microscopic little worms that hunt grubs underground, sold in a small refrigerated pouch at the garden center or online. You mix them with water in a watering can or hose sprayer. Put them down in the evening when the sun is low and water them in. They are slower than the chemical, a couple of weeks instead of a couple of days, but they are harmless to kids, pets, birds, and bees. You may have also heard of milky spore. I will be straight with you. It only touches Japanese beetle grubs, and it takes a few seasons to build up, so it is a long game, not a rescue. And whichever route you choose, a few things are not optional. Wear gloves. Read the label twice, once at the store and once in the driveway. Keep the kids and the pets off the lawn until it has been watered in and fully dried. And if you have clover blooming in that lawn, mow those little white flowers off before you treat, because the bees working those blooms did nothing wrong. For a big property or a problem that keeps beating you, call a licensed applicator. I ran a counter for 25 years, but I never carried that license, and there is no shame in calling the person who does. That handles the shopping. But the bag in your trunk is still worth exactly nothing until it goes down right, so let's walk through application day together, step by step. Step 1. Mow the lawn first, at your normal height. Short grass lets the granules fall through to the soil instead of hanging up in the blades, and it takes those clover blooms out of harm's way in the same pass. Step 2. Measure your lawn, because the single most common mistake I saw was folks treating 5,000 square feet of grass with a bag rated for 5,000 square feet, spread over half the yard, twice as heavy. Pace off the length of the yard. A big step is about 3 feet. Pace off the width. Multiply the two numbers, and now you know your square footage. Most bags cover 5,000 square feet. That is 5,000, and the number is printed right on the front, so match your yard to your bag. Step 3. Set your broadcast spreader to the setting printed on the bag, and fill the spreader on the driveway, not on the grass, because a spilled pile of granules will burn a scar into the lawn that lasts all season. Step 4. Walk it. Do one pass around the outside edge of the yard first, like drawing a picture frame. Then fill in the middle with straight rows, overlapping your wheel tracks just a little, walking the same steady pace you would walk to the mailbox. Do not go back over it a second time. More is not better with this stuff. The right amount at the right time beats a heavy hand every day of the week. And when you are done, sweep any granules off the driveway and sidewalk back onto the grass, because whatever sits on concrete washes straight into the storm drain in the creek, and the fish did nothing wrong either. You'd think that would be the finish line. It is not. Right now, that product is sitting on top of your lawn, doing absolutely nothing, and this is the moment I have been promising you since the very first minute. Here is why the hose decides everything. The grubs are living and feeding 1 to 3 inches below the surface, down in the root zone, in the dark. The product is sitting up in the sunshine, on top of the grass and the thatch, that spongy layer of dead stems between the green blades and the soil. Those two things are strangers to each other, and they will stay strangers until water introduces them. When you water, 3 things happen at once, and every one of them works for you. First, The water dissolves those granules and carries the active ingredient down through the thatch and into the soil, right into the root zone where the grubs are eating. Second, and this is the part almost nobody explains, the moisture calls the grubs up. Grubs follow water. In dry soil, they dig deeper looking for a drink, but in freshly wet soil, they rise toward the surface to feed in comfort. So the water is moving the product down and moving the grubs up at the same time, and they meet in that top inch, like two elevators stopping at the same floor. And third, watering rescues the product from the sun, because sunlight and August heat break down an insecticide sitting exposed on the surface, and a granule left dry on top of the thatch for 3 days is mostly a wasted granule. That is why one neighbor swears the stuff works miracles, and the other swears it is junk. Same bag, different hose. So here is exactly what you do. The minute the spreader is parked, within 20 minutes, get the sprinkler running. You need half an inch of water. That is half an inch. A real soaking, not a polite little sprinkle. And measuring it is easier than you think. Set an empty tuna can or cat food can out on the lawn under the sprinkler, and when that can is full, you have your half inch. For most sprinklers, that is somewhere between 30 and 45 minutes. If the forecast shows a good steady rain coming this evening, you are welcome to let the sky do the watering, but a gully washer thunderstorm is too much of a good thing. So aim for the gentle rain, not the flood. Then keep everybody, two-legged and four-legged, off the lawn until it dries. After that, the product does the work while you drink your coffee. With a carbaryl killer, the grubs start dying within a day or two. In 10 to 14 days, go back out with your spade and make one more test cut at the edge of a patch, the same 1 foot square, and count again. That is 10 to 14 days, long enough for the dust to settle. The count should have collapsed. Now the brown patches themselves will not turn green again, because the roots under them are gone, and no product on earth glues roots back on. So in early September, rake the dead spots out, drop some good seed, and let the cool fall weather do what it does best for a lawn like yours and mine. And come next June, when those copper-backed beetles show up at the porch light again, you will know exactly what they are up to. And there is a preventer step for that month that closes the door for good. And that right there is the difference between a bag that works and a bag that gets returned to my old counter. The watering is the whole ballgame, and now you know why. But killing the grubs is only half the rescue, because those bare patches are about to become weed territory, and the full recovery. Rebuilding thick turf, the prevention fortress, the month-by-month calendar that keeps you ahead of all of it, that is written out day by day in Larry's 30-day weed kill protocol. 88 pages, one step at a time, $17 instead of $47, less than you will spend replacing one dead patch of sod. It is the plan I wish I could have handed across the counter for 25 years. Now go ahead and grab your phone and open up your camera, the same one you use to take pictures. Point it at that square code on your screen and hold it steady for a second. A little link will pop up, give it a tap, and it will take you straight to the book. And if you are watching on your phone right now, the link is waiting for you right down below in the description. Take your time, there is no rush at all. I'll wait right here. So, one more time. Short and sweet. Cut the test square. Count your grubs. Buy the killer and not the preventer. Spread the right amount for your square footage, and get that half inch of water down within 20 minutes. Tell me in the comments what state you are in, and what you have already tried on those grubs. I read every single one. And next time I am going to show you the June preventer routine that makes sure you never meet an August grub again, and why the week you put it down matters more than the brand you buy. You've got this, neighbor. I'll see you out on the lawn.